If you have come across this video, know that it is not a coincidence. Everything happens by the decree of Allah. So please take just 13 minutes of your time. No matter who you are, the words you are about to hear may bring peace and tranquility to your heart. I promise you, by the end of this short video, you will feel much better, and what you hear will change your perspective on life forever. Are you ready? One day, an elderly man, wise and full of knowledge, went to the forest in the morning to reflect. He sat in the shade of a great tree. At that moment, he heard the sorrowful cry of a crow perched on a dry branch. With a voice full of compassion, he asked, "Why are you crying, O beautiful creature created by Allah?" The crow sighed deeply in despair and answered, "I am a miserable creature. People look down on me. Children throw stones at me. Dogs chase me from their gardens. They say my feathers are ugly. Whenever I try to fly, they run away from me. I wish I had never existed. I wish I could just disappear." The wise man smiled gently and paused for a moment. Then in a soft voice he said, "My child, Allah has created you perfectly. Everything happens according to His will. No matter how people see you, what truly matters is how Allah has created you and for what wisdom He has brought you into existence. If you tie your happiness to the opinions of others and let your life be shaped by their judgment, you will never find true contentment. Perhaps your sorrow comes not from how life actually is, but from how you wish it to be. But let me give you some advice. If you had the power to change your creation, which bird would you choose to be?" The crow answered without hesitation, "I would want to be a swan, pure white, graceful, and beautiful. People love them and praise their purity. I wish I were a swan." The wise man smiled and said, "My child, before you wish to change the form Allah has given you, I want you to speak with the swan you admire. Go and find out if it is truly happy." The crow, with a glimmer of hope in its eyes, flew towards the shore of a great migratory lake. As it approached, it saw a swan gliding elegantly across the cool water. Its white feathers shone like moonlight reflecting on the surface. A gentle breeze created ripples in the lake, and the swan moved gracefully, almost as if dancing with the waves. The crow thought that such a pure and delicate creature must surely be happy. Approaching eagerly, the crow asked, "O swan, you are so beautiful and pure. Your white feathers, the way you glide over the water, it is breathtaking. Even poets write verses about your elegance. People watch you with admiration. Surely you must be the happiest bird in the world." The swan paused for a moment. It looked at its reflection in the water. Its feathers glistened, but its eyes were dimmed with sadness. It lowered its head, its long neck curling gently. Taking a deep breath, it spoke in a sorrowful voice, "If only that were true, dear crow. But I am not happy. Allah has adorned the world with so many beautiful colors, yet I am only white. Against the white clouds, I am almost invisible. When the snow falls, I disappear. People praise my beauty, but I can never be different. I always remain the same, unchanging color. Sometimes I feel as though I barely exist." Then the swan gazed up at the sky and sighed deeply. "If only you knew how much I envy the parrot's colorful feathers. I long to have vibrant colors, to stand out, to be seen in every setting. Everyone praises my beauty, but sometimes I wish I could be more lively, more striking. Beauty may seem like a blessing, but at times, being invisible feels just as lonely." The crow was stunned by the swan's words. It had always believed the swan's beauty was a gift to be envied, but now it realized that even the most beautiful creature had its own struggles. The crow felt a slight crack in its hope, but it still believed that there must be another bird that had found true happiness. Though disappointed by the swan's sorrow, the crow decided to continue its search. Looking up at the sky, it took a deep breath, spread its wings, and soared. "Perhaps happiness is not found in colors or beauty," it thought, "but I must keep searching." As it glided through the sky, it wondered if there might be another bird that had discovered true happiness. Its eyes caught sight of a lush, green forest below. The gentle wind played with the leaves, creating a soothing, rustling sound. Amidst the branches, a dazzling burst of colors caught the crow's attention. At that moment, cheerful chirping echoed through the trees. When the crow landed on the thick trunk of the tree, it found itself face to face with a magnificent parrot adorned with vibrant feathers. Its plumage shimmered in bright blues, vivid greens, and warm yellows, glowing as if bathed in sunlight. The colors blended seamlessly, creating a spectacle reminiscent of a rainbow. The crow was mesmerized by the parrot's brilliance. Captivated by the parrot's cheerful appearance, the crow eagerly asked, "You are so colorful and beautiful.
When the sunlight touches your feathers, they shine like a jewel. People must admire your bright colors. Surely you must be the happiest bird in the world." The parrot paused for a moment, then ruffled its feathers slightly. But instead of singing joyfully as the crow had expected, it let out a deep sigh, its voice carrying a sorrowful weight. "My feathers only appear beautiful from the outside, dear crow, but my colors are actually my test. People love me for this dazzling appearance, but they do not set me free. They take me into their homes, they lock me in cages, they give me attention, yet they want me to live in a place that does not belong to me." The parrot lowered its head slightly, its eyes reflecting a deep sense of longing. "No matter how bright I appear on the outside, inside me is a fear I cannot escape. Hunters are always after me. Everyone wants to see me, but for me, that is not freedom. It is captivity. I long to rest peacefully on the branches of trees, to fly wherever I please, to sing whenever I desire." The crow was taken aback. "But people love you. They admire you for your vibrant colors. Shouldn't that be enough to make you happy?" it asked. Shaking its head, the parrot responded, "The love of people does not always bring happiness, my dear crow. Being adored is wonderful, but freedom is far greater. If you truly seek happiness, you must go to the peacock. He is different from us. He is not only magnificent, but people worship him with great admiration. If even he does not know happiness, then who does?" The crow pondered the parrot's words. Just like the swan, the parrot was not happy either. For a moment its hope wavered, but it was not ready to give up. Looking up at the sky, it spread its wings and thought, perhaps happiness is not found in beauty alone. Yet, it still had no answer. Taking a deep breath, it set off with new determination, searching for the peacock. The crow flew for miles until it finally arrived at a lush temple garden. The golden domes of the grand temple shimmered under the sunlight, surrounded by visitors who wandered through its tranquil grounds. In the heart of the garden, a stone fountain stood, encircled by delicate flowers and fragrant trees. But all eyes were fixed on the most magnificent being in the garden, the peacock, radiating with dazzling colors. The peacock slowly spread its wings, displaying its breathtaking feathers, captivating the spectators with its graceful movement. People gathered around in admiration, some offering flowers, others presenting the finest delicacies. The crow was spellbound by the sheer magnificence of this creature. "I've found it," the crow thought. "A bird that possesses true happiness. No one mistreats him. No one chases him away. People revere him as if he were divine. He must be the very embodiment of happiness." The crowd continued to marvel at the peacock for a while longer before gradually dispersing. As the temple garden fell into silence, the crow excitedly approached the peacock. "Oh, beautiful peacock," it called out. "You are so majestic. People are in awe of your breathtaking feathers. They come here just to see you. Yet, when people see me, they flee in fear. Surely you must be the happiest bird in the world." For a moment, the peacock remained silent. The crow expected to see joy gleaming in its eyes, to hear words brimming with satisfaction. But to its surprise, the peacock's expression darkened. A faint, melancholic smile crossed its beak as it gently closed its wings, lowered its head slightly, and sighed before responding. "Once, I too believed I was the most beautiful and happiest bird in the world, but my beauty became my prison. People claim to admire me, but in reality, their admiration is my captivity." With slow, deliberate steps, the peacock walked toward a secluded corner. It was then that the crow noticed something it had previously overlooked. The peacock appeared to roam freely in the garden, but in truth, it was confined within a cage. Around its foot, a delicate yet heavy golden chain was fastened. Whenever the crowd dispersed, that chain pulled it back. The peacock continued with a sorrowful tone. "They do not set me free because they find me beautiful. My beauty has become my chains. They pluck my feathers, and it pains me deeply. They only see the magnificence of my exterior, but no one cares about what I feel inside." The peacock took a deep breath and silently approached the crow. With a tired yet wise tone, it spoke. "This is your freedom. No one envies you. Your feathers do not imprison you. Your wings protect you from being chained. Appreciate your freedom, dear crow, for Allah has created you in the most beautiful way. Free. The greatest blessing is to be free. Learn to be grateful." The crow saw both sorrow and deep wisdom in the peacock's eyes. In an instant, all feelings of envy within it disappeared. Perhaps happiness is not just in outward appearances, it thought, and at that moment,
it began to understand the truth.
After a long journey, the crow returned to the wise old man, as if no time had passed at all. The forest was bathed in golden light as the sun set, and the sage sat beneath the same great tree, just as he always did. A gentle breeze rustled through the branches, creating a soothing melody, and the world seemed to have fallen into a peaceful silence. Weary but with a heart full of clarity, the crow landed before the wise man. There was no longer disappointment in its eyes, only understanding. Taking a deep breath, it spoke, "Now I understand, O wise one. The swan's beauty is its trap, the parrot's colors are its prison, and the peacock's magnificence is bound by golden chains. But I," the sage looked at the crow and curiously asked, "You?" The crow smiled. For the first time, it did not feel incomplete. For the first time, it did not care about what others thought. It only valued what had been given to it. "I am free," it said. "I have always been free, free to fly, free to choose, free to exist. My Lord has blessed me with countless gifts to be grateful for in this world. Life is a test, and I must learn to be content with what has been given to me. I may not be the most beautiful in the eyes of others, but when I accept the fate that Allah has written for me, I realize that true beauty lies in the peace of the heart."
The wise man smiled at the crow's words and gently nodded as he replied, "My child, the greatest poverty is not having little, but constantly wanting more. A person who does not accept the destiny Allah has written for them will always be unhappy. The deepest prisons are not made of steel, but are built through comparisons. And the strongest chains are not made of gold, but are forged from one's own desires. Happiness begins the moment we stop wishing to be something we are not." The crow felt these words settle in its heart like a drop of water, bringing an unexpected sense of relief. It lifted its gaze to the vast sky above. The boundless expanse reflected the peace within it. At that moment, it understood. The greatest wealth was recognizing the blessings one already had. From that day forward, when the crow looked at its reflection, it no longer saw itself as an ugly black bird. Instead, it saw a creature as vast as the sky, as free as the wind, and as blessed as the life it had been given by its creator. For the first time, it fully embraced its existence. It now knew that instead of envying what the swan, the parrot, or the peacock possessed, it should simply spread its wings and fly with what Allah had granted it. Because what truly mattered was not how others saw it, but the fact that Allah had created it in the most perfect way. Dear friends, we have reached the end of this wisdom-filled story. I hope you found great value in this lesson. Let us never forget that Allah has created us in the best possible way. Comparing ourselves to others will only bring us sorrow. True freedom is recognizing the blessings that our Lord has given us and being grateful for them. As Allah states in the Quran, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase my blessings upon you. But if you are ungrateful, then indeed, my punishment is severe." Surah Ibrahim, 7th ayah. Just like the crow, we can spend our lives wishing to be someone else, or we can discover who we truly are. True freedom is not changing what we are, but accepting how Allah has created us and submitting to His divine decree. Thank you for watching. May Allah bless you and keep you safe.